Welcome back to the Soul Wisdom channel. Today, we're diving into a mind-bending topic that'll challenge everything you thought you knew. Picture a world where one mega brand holds the keys to everything essential for daily life. It's like something out of an ancient prophecy, filled with big questions about what's right and wrong. Today, let's dive into this topic and see how it affects our freedoms and everyday routines. First off, we'll dig into where this idea comes from and what it really means for us today. Then, we'll check out the tech that could make this prophecy a reality, weighing up the good and bad sides. But here's the kicker. What if everything you thought you knew about this prophecy was turned upside down? Imagine if saying no to this brand meant being shut out from society altogether. Could you do it? And what if your very survival depended on saying yes? Tough choices, right? These questions get to the heart of who we are and what kind of world we want to be part of. Let's dive in and figure it out together. Delving into Dolores Cannon's profound insights in her book, The Convoluted Universe, offers us a captivating perspective on the subject matter at hand. She invites us to see beyond the surface of symbolic marks, traditionally associated with the ominous mark of the beast, and instead suggests they could serve as transformative milestones in a civilization's journey. In her view, these symbols aren't solely instruments of oppression, but potential indicators of significant shifts in societal evolution. What does this mean for us? It's more than just decoding prophecies. It's about preparing ourselves for a potential future that could profoundly challenge our fundamental concepts of freedom and control. It urges us to go beyond mere understanding and critically examine our readiness to navigate such scenarios, as well as the broader implications of our relentless technological advancements. In this exploration, we confront thought-provoking questions. Would standing against such a branded mark lead to isolation? Or could it unexpectedly liberate us in ways we hadn't previously considered? Conversely, embracing it might seem to offer convenience, but could it jeopardize the very principles we hold dear? These queries compel us to reflect deeply on our values and the paths we choose as individuals and as a society, as we navigate the intricate terrain of our ever-changing world. In our contemporary digital era, the distinction between convenient technology and intrusive surveillance becomes increasingly blurred with each passing day. Consider the rapid evolution of technologies like RFID chips, biometric identifiers, and digital identification systems, all of which seem to be converging toward the potential realization of what's commonly feared as the ominous mark of the beast. Let's take a deep dive into how these technological advancements could potentially wield unprecedented control over access to critical social goods such as food, travel, and healthcare. Once confined to the realm of package tracking, RFID chips are now finding applications in human contexts. Similarly, biometric systems, encompassing facial recognition and fingerprint scanning, have become commonplace in securing devices and facilities. When coupled with the revolutionary capabilities of blockchain technology, these tools could pave the way for a seamlessly interconnected yet deeply invasive global identification infrastructure. The ethical implications are staggering to contemplate. Imagine inhabiting a world where a digital identifier meticulously logs and monitors every facet of your existence, from financial transactions to medical procedures. What might seem like a dystopian fiction is rapidly approaching reality, with several nations actively exploring the implementation of digital IDs that could one day become indispensable for societal participation. Thus, we're compelled to ponder: does the allure of digital integration, with its promises of convenience and efficiency, outweigh the potential erosion of privacy and individual autonomy? Moreover, what if adherence to such digital systems were mandated by governing bodies? Would individuals acquiesce out of necessity to safeguard their livelihoods, or would they staunchly resist, risking social ostracization and exclusion? These aren't merely speculative scenarios, but imminent existential choices that may confront us sooner than we realize. Amidst this complex and rapidly evolving landscape, it becomes imperative to strike a delicate balance between technological progress and ethical considerations. We must subject the integration of these technologies into our daily lives to rigorous scrutiny, not only to assess their practical benefits, but also to discern their potential encroachments upon our fundamental rights and freedoms. This critical examination of the parallels between contemporary technological developments and the age-old concept of the mark of the beast serves as a vital discourse, preparing us for a future where the decisions we make today may profoundly shape our collective destiny. As we navigate these uncertain waters, we are confronted with the profound question of how much control we are willing to cede in exchange for the tantalizing promises of a more interconnected and efficient world. This introspection demands our utmost attention and collective engagement as we chart the course toward a future that remains profoundly uncertain, yet brimming with unprecedented possibilities. Let's embark on a journey into a lesser explored and perhaps even more captivating perspective surrounding the enigmatic notion of the mark of the beast. Beyond the superficial understanding of physical markings or technological imprints lies a theory steeped in deeper esotericism. Could it be that the mark of the beast symbolizes not merely a tool of economic control, but rather a profound choice concerning spiritual or moral allegiance? This interpretation delves into the realm of consciousness and suggests that accepting the mark may entail more than just acquiescing to a system of societal governance. It may require aligning oneself with a set of values or a worldview fundamentally antithetical to certain spiritual truths or ethical standards. In this light, the decision to accept or reject the mark takes on a weighty significance, becoming a pivotal test of one's convictions and beliefs. Imagine the social pressures that might nudge individuals toward embracing such a mark. In a world increasingly molded by conformity, the allure of fitting in and the fear of being ostracized can exert immense influence over our choices. Here lies the true challenge, not merely in resisting a physical brand, but in withstanding the subtle yet potent pull of prevailing ideologies or economic systems that demand compromises in personal integrity. Furthermore, this perspective prompts a profound introspection into how our daily choices may already be shaping our alignment with or resistance to such a symbol. Every decision we make, whether conscious or not, carries cosmic weight, as suggested by Dolores Cannon's insightful exploration of the interconnectedness of our actions with our spiritual evolution. Could it be that seemingly innocuous choices, such as opting for convenience over privacy or prioritizing short-term gains over long-term values, are steering us closer to, or farther away from, the principles embodied by the mark? This mystical interpretation invites us to challenge not only the nature of the mark itself, but also to scrutinize the trajectory of our lives in relation to its deeper implications. Are we unknowingly traversing a path that leads us inexorably toward acceptance of the mark, not through overt coercion, but through a series of seemingly inconsequential decisions? This exploration compels us to confront critical questions about autonomy, conformity, and the essence of spiritual integrity in our increasingly complex world. As we ponder the enigmatic symbolism of this mark, it becomes evident that the battle is not merely against external forces, but also against the internal conflicts we grapple with as we endeavor to align our lives with our deepest truths. In this intricate dance between choice and consequence, between conformity and authenticity, lies the essence of our spiritual journey, an odyssey where every step carries profound implications for our collective destiny. Let's embark on an exploration of the profound global implications that could arise, particularly concerning how they might reshape the landscape of international relations and global governance. In a world where technology continually blurs boundaries and facilitates connections among diverse populations, the concept of implementing a universal tagging system for identification and financial transactions becomes increasingly plausible while simultaneously sparking potentially contentious debates. Envision a scenario where international travel, global trade, and access to essential international aid are contingent upon individuals or nations meeting a global standard that includes this mark. Such a scenario could herald a new era of geopolitical stratification, wherein a country or region's alignment or resistance to this framework could determine its access to crucial global resources and economic opportunities. The implications of implementing such a universal system are vast and multifaceted. Nations might face significant pressure to adopt this system to circumvent economic isolation or potential sanctions. However, such pressure could ignite robust resistance, both from governments viewing it as a violation of national sovereignty and from citizens wary of perceived threats to personal freedoms and privacy. This dilemma raises profound ethical questions. Who controls this system? And what safeguards are in place to prevent its misuse? Furthermore, how are dissenting voices accommodated within this global framework? These questions echo ongoing debates surrounding global data privacy laws and international agreements on surveillance and human rights. The potential influence of the mark of the beast on global economic systems and diplomatic relations prompts us to consider the broader consequences of such technological innovations. It transcends mere individual choices. Entire populations could be profoundly affected by the decisions surrounding its implementation. Moreover, this global perspective intersects with Dolores Cannon's profound insights into universal consciousness and the interconnectedness of all beings. If the mark were to become a reality, it would undoubtedly test our collective ethical frameworks and compel us to strike a delicate balance between embracing technological progress and upholding fundamental human rights. This reflection underscores the critical importance of contemplating the future trajectory shaped by our technological and political decisions. Are we navigating towards a more harmonious and equitable global order, or are we inadvertently laying the groundwork for increased division and control? The choices we make today carry significant weight, holding the power to shape the very fabric of the global community of tomorrow. Contemplating the increasing likelihood of a global marking system, it's imperative to grasp the myriad of human responses that will shape both its success and the challenges it poses. The decision of whether to embrace or reject such a mark isn't a straightforward one. For some, compliance might appear as a pragmatic compromise, a means to safeguard their lifestyle and ensure their security within a society that prizes conformity. Conversely, others may view resistance as a moral imperative, a steadfast stance against what they perceive as an infringement on personal freedoms and an alarming expansion of technological control. But what factors underpin these decisions? Fear, necessity, and deeply entrenched belief systems all exert significant sway. The fear of exclusion from essential societal services such as healthcare, banking, and education can strongly influence individuals towards acceptance. Conversely, an unwavering belief in personal autonomy, privacy, or religious convictions might bolster resistance. This dichotomy in reactions has the potential to sow seeds of division within societies, giving rise to distinct factions, those who comply and those who resist. Such divisions carry profound consequences, potentially leading to social unrest or even spawning parallel economies and communities, each governed by its own set of norms and trading systems, contingent upon acceptance or rejection of the mark. As we delve deeper into these responses, it's essential to also consider the strategies that governments and organizations might employ to promote compliance. This could range from offering incentives to those who embrace the mark to imposing penalties on those who refuse, further complicating the already intricate ethical landscape surrounding this issue. So the question arises, would you yield to the mark for the sake of easier access to global services, or would you stand firm and confront the potential repercussions? Understanding the broader implications of these choices is crucial as we brace ourselves for a future where such decisions may become increasingly prevalent. Engaging in discussions about the ethical dilemmas and spiritual ramifications tied to the widespread adoption of such a system is paramount. After all, comprehending the complexities of this issue is key to navigating the uncertain terrain that lies ahead, ensuring that we remain grounded in our principles even as we traverse uncharted waters of technological advancement and societal change. Let's embark on a fascinating journey into the intersection of technology, ethics, and spirituality, exploring how the decisions we make regarding technology can deeply influence our spiritual lives and the broader human experience. In our increasingly tech-savvy world, where technology permeates nearly every aspect of our existence, we're confronted with profound ethical questions. This is particularly evident when considering technologies that could potentially align with the prophetic concept of the mark of the beast. How do we harness the power of technological innovation for the betterment of society while safeguarding individual freedoms and rights? Who holds the authority to set limits on the development and application of these technologies? And what guiding principles should inform these decisions? These are complex questions, made even more intricate by the spiritual dimensions intertwined with these technological advancements. For many individuals, the decision to accept or reject the mark isn't merely a practical consideration. It's a deeply spiritual commitment. This perspective resonates profoundly within religious and spiritual communities, where the mark symbolizes allegiance with significant spiritual ramifications. The ethical discourse extends beyond concerns of mere surveillance and control. It delves into the very essence of human autonomy and spiritual integrity. If a digital or physical tag has the capacity to monitor movements, track financial transactions, and record personal interactions, the potential for misuse and infringement upon individual liberties is undeniable. In contemplating this scenario, we're compelled to confront fundamental questions about power and control. How much authority are we willing to delegate to technological systems, and who should be entrusted with such responsibility? Dolores Cannon's profound insights shed light on this complex nexus of technology and spirituality. She emphasized the profound interconnectedness between technological advancements and our spiritual evolution, highlighting how the environments we create and sustain profoundly shape our spiritual well-being. Indeed, every decision we make regarding technology carries profound spiritual implications, capable of either elevating or diminishing our collective consciousness. Merely advancing technology isn't enough. We must also cultivate robust ethical frameworks to guide its responsible and mindful use, taking into account its profound spiritual implications. In navigating this intricate terrain, the choices we make today regarding the development, implementation, and regulation of technology will not only shape our societal structures, but will also chart the trajectory of our spiritual growth. It's a journey where our technological advancements and our spiritual integrity must harmonize, leading us towards a future that fosters both human progress and spiritual enlightenment. The concept of the mark of the beast, whether interpreted literally or symbolically, acts as a profound beacon, urging us to navigate the intricate interplay between our technological prowess and our deepest ethical and spiritual beliefs. It's a call to reflect deeply on the kind of world we desire to inhabit and the values we hold dear. Do we charge ahead with unbridled enthusiasm for technology, potentially sacrificing essential freedoms and compromising our spiritual integrity? Or do we tread a more mindful path, one that embraces technological progress while steadfastly upholding our ethical and spiritual principles? These questions aren't just hypothetical musings. They're increasingly pertinent as technology hurtles forward at an astonishing pace. What was once confined to the realms of science fiction now inches closer to reality with each passing day. Consequently, it's incumbent upon our society to engage in robust, inclusive, and nuanced discussions about the profound implications of these emerging technologies. This necessitates not only open dialogue, but also the development of thoughtful policies and ethical guidelines to navigate the ever-evolving technological landscape. Furthermore, cultivating a culture of awareness and education is paramount. By delving into the potential spiritual and ethical ramifications of concepts like the mark of the beast, individuals can make well-informed decisions about their engagement with such systems. This awareness also empowers communities to advocate for regulations and safeguards that uphold individual rights and liberties, ensuring that technology remains a force for good rather than a source of oppression or exploitation. Every choice we make, no matter how seemingly inconsequential, contributes to shaping the reality we inhabit. Let's view these challenges as opportunities for introspection, growth, and collective evolution. Indeed, the dilemmas posed by the mark of the beast invite us to define the very essence of our civilization. The values, principles, and ethical frameworks that guide our collective journey forward. As we contemplate the future, let us do so with open hearts and minds, engaging in ongoing dialogue, staying informed and actively participating in the co-creation of a world that reflects our highest aspirations and deepest convictions. Exploring the psychological impact of pervasive marking systems unveils a profound terrain where constant surveillance and the fear of being monitored can deeply affect individuals' mental health and overall well-being. Living in a society where every movement, transaction, and interaction is tracked can instill a pervasive sense of unease, eroding feelings of privacy, autonomy, and personal agency. One significant psychological consequence of such surveillance is heightened anxiety and stress. The constant awareness of being watched can lead to a state of hypervigilance where individuals feel constantly on edge and unable to relax. This chronic stress can take a toll on both physical and mental health, contributing to conditions such as hypertension, insomnia, and depression. Moreover, the erosion of privacy can lead to feelings of vulnerability and powerlessness. Knowing that personal information is constantly being monitored and potentially exploited can trigger feelings of distrust and paranoia, further exacerbating psychological distress. In extreme cases, individuals may develop symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, or other trauma-related disorders as a result of living under constant surveillance. To address these psychological challenges, it's essential to implement strategies that promote resilience and foster coping mechanisms. One approach is to provide education and support to help individuals develop a sense of agency and control in navigating their digital lives. This may include training in digital literacy and privacy protection techniques, empowering individuals to take proactive steps to safeguard their personal information and assert their privacy rights. Additionally, fostering a sense of community and social support can be invaluable in mitigating the psychological toll of pervasive marking systems. By creating spaces for open dialogue and mutual support, individuals can share their experiences, fears, and coping strategies. Building resilience through collective solidarity, peer support groups, community workshops, and online forums can serve as vital platforms for connection and empowerment in the face of technological challenges. Furthermore, integrating mindfulness and stress reduction practices into daily life can help individuals cultivate resilience and emotional well-being. Mindfulness meditation, yoga, and other contemplative practices can provide tools for managing stress, regulating emotions, and cultivating inner peace amidst external pressures. These practices offer individuals a refuge from the constant demands of digital surveillance, allowing them to reconnect with themselves and find moments of calm amidst the chaos. Ultimately, addressing the psychological impact of pervasive marking systems requires a multifaceted approach that combines education, community support, and mindfulness practices. By empowering individuals to assert their privacy rights, fostering supportive communities, and cultivating inner resilience, we can mitigate the psychological toll of living under constant surveillance and create a more psychologically healthy and resilient society. Now, exploring the interplay between marking technologies and environmental ethics unveils a complex relationship that warrants careful consideration. Digital tagging systems, while offering potential benefits in terms of tracking and identification, also pose significant environmental challenges throughout their life cycle. One primary concern is the environmental impact of manufacturing digital tagging hardware, which often involves the extraction and processing of raw materials, such as metals and rare earth elements. These processes can lead to habitat destruction, pollution of air and waterways, and increased carbon emissions, contributing to ecological degradation and climate change. Furthermore, the disposal of electronic waste generated by obsolete or malfunctioning tagging systems presents another environmental dilemma. Improper disposal practices can result in the release of toxic substances into the environment, contaminating soil and water sources and posing risks to human and ecosystem health. Addressing this issue requires the development of robust recycling and waste management infrastructure to ensure the safe and responsible disposal of electronic components. In light of these environmental concerns, exploring sustainable alternatives and eco-friendly approaches to technological development is imperative. This includes embracing principles of circular economy and resource efficiency, designing products with longevity and recyclability in mind, and minimizing the use of hazardous materials in manufacturing processes. One promising approach is the adoption of bio-based and biodegradable materials for digital tagging hardware, which offer reduced environmental impact compared to traditional materials. Additionally, exploring innovative manufacturing techniques, such as 3D printing and additive manufacturing, can enable more efficient use of resources and reduce waste generation. Moreover, prioritizing energy efficiency and renewable energy sources in the operation of digital tagging systems can further mitigate their environmental footprint. This includes optimizing software algorithms to minimize energy consumption, leveraging renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power for data centers and infrastructure, and implementing energy-efficient communication protocols. Ultimately, advancing technological innovation in a manner that aligns with environmental ethics requires a holistic approach that considers the entire life cycle of digital tagging systems. By prioritizing sustainability, resource efficiency, and eco-friendly design principles, we can minimize harm to the planet while harnessing the benefits of technological advancement for societal progress. Embracing these principles is essential for creating a more sustainable and resilient future for generations to come. Exploring the concept of intergenerational justice in the context of marking technologies unveils profound implications for the world inherited by future generations. Decisions made today about technological development and governance have far-reaching consequences that extend well beyond our lifetimes, shaping the trajectory of society and the environment for generations to come. One key consideration is the ethical imperative to weigh the long-term consequences of technological advancements. While marking technologies may offer immediate benefits in terms of tracking and identification, their impact on future generations must be carefully considered. This includes assessing potential risks such as environmental degradation, erosion of privacy rights, and social inequality, and taking proactive measures to mitigate these risks. Furthermore, intergenerational justice requires recognizing the importance of engaging in dialogue and collaboration across generations to ensure a sustainable and just future. This involves fostering meaningful communication and collaboration between current decision makers and representatives of future generations, such as youth activists, environmental advocates, and community leaders. By involving future generations in decision-making processes and incorporating their perspectives and concerns into policy formulation and governance structures, we can help ensure that technological advancements are aligned with the long-term interests of society and the planet. This includes prioritizing sustainability, equity, and social justice in technological development and deployment, and taking into account the needs and aspirations of future generations in shaping our collective future. Moreover, intergenerational justice entails adopting a precautionary approach to technological innovation, acknowledging the inherent uncertainties and potential risks associated with new technologies. This involves conducting thorough risk assessments, engaging in transparent decision-making processes, and implementing safeguards to prevent or mitigate harm to future generations. Ultimately, fostering intergenerational justice requires a commitment to ethical decision-making, environmental stewardship, and inclusive governance practices. By considering the long-term implications of marking technologies and prioritizing the needs of future generations, we can build a more sustainable and just world that honors the rights and dignity of all individuals, both present and future. Now, exploring the interplay between marking technologies and environmental ethics unveils a complex relationship that warrants careful consideration. Digital tagging systems, while offering potential benefits in terms of tracking and identification, also pose significant environmental challenges throughout their life cycle. One primary concern is the environmental impact of manufacturing digital tagging hardware, which often involves the extraction and processing of raw materials such as metals and rare earth elements. These processes can lead to habitat destruction, pollution of air and waterways, and increased carbon emissions, contributing to ecological degradation and climate change. Furthermore, the disposal of electronic waste generated by obsolete or malfunctioning tagging systems presents another environmental dilemma. Improper disposal practices can result in the release of toxic substances into the environment, contaminating soil and water sources and posing risks to human and ecosystem health. Addressing this issue requires the development of robust recycling and waste management infrastructure to ensure the safe and responsible disposal of electronic components. To address these ethical challenges and protect the rights and dignity of vulnerable populations, it is essential to adopt strategies that prioritize equity, justice, and human rights. One approach is to ensure that marking systems are designed and implemented in a manner that respects and upholds the principles of non-discrimination, privacy, and data protection. This includes incorporating safeguards such as data encryption, anonymization, and informed consent to minimize the risk of abuse and misuse of personal information. Additionally, empowering vulnerable populations to advocate for their rights and participate in decision-making processes is crucial. This involves providing access to information, resources, and legal support to enable individuals and communities to assert their rights and hold governments and technology companies accountable for any violations. Civil society organizations, human rights defenders, and grassroots activists play a vital role in amplifying the voices of marginalized communities and advocating for systemic change. Furthermore, fostering solidarity and collaboration among diverse stakeholders, including governments, civil society, and the private sector, is essential to address the root causes of vulnerability and inequality. By working together to address systemic injustices and promote inclusive policies and practices, we can create a more just and equitable society where all individuals, regardless of their background or circumstances, can live with dignity, freedom, and respect for their human rights. Whether or not the mark of the beast prophecy proves to be true in a literal sense, its underlying themes resonate deeply with our lives today. They compel us to reflect not only on our relationship with technology, but also on the values that shape our humanity. As we navigate this complex terrain, it's essential to tread carefully, engaging with the world around us with mindfulness and consideration, and making choices that align with both our technological capabilities and our spiritual and ethical principles. Let's embark on this journey with wisdom, foresight, and a steadfast commitment to the greater good. Envision a world where a single mark determines access to life's necessities, a scenario reminiscent of biblical prophecy, rich with moral and ethical complexities.